Mel, a quiet and dreamy young woman, longed to have her first job. Like for many, the first job comes with a huge load of fears, insecurities, and challenges, and it was no different for her. Filled with expectations but deeply afraid of the new and what it would be like, Mel faced her own doubts as she prepared for this new stage of life. Since childhood, Mel had always dreamed of the day she could be independent and pave her own path. The idea of achieving her goals and contributing something meaningful to society was a constant flame in her heart. However, the real world seemed more intimidating than she had imagined. The fear of the unknown and insecurities about her own abilities accompanied every thought about the future. The days leading up to her job interview were filled with a mix of excitement and apprehension. Mel mentally reviewed her responses to potential questions, trying to prepare for any situation. Despite her efforts, the fear of failure and not being good enough loomed over her like a shadow. She knew that the first step would be crucial, and this thought only heightened her anxiety. When the day of the interview finally arrived, Mel put on her best smile and went to meet her fate. Every moment, from the initial handshake to the farewell, was a challenge. The questions that had once seemed simple now made her doubt herself. Even so, Mel persisted, determined to do her best, regardless of the outcome. The wait for a response was agonizing. Each day without news increased her anxiety but at the same time strengthened her resolve. When she finally received the news that she had been hired, the joy was indescribable. Mel knew that this was just the beginning of a long journey, but she was ready to face every challenge that lay ahead. Mel's first day at work was a whirlwind of emotions. From the moment she walked through the company's doors to the instant she introduced herself to her colleagues, each step felt like a mountain to climb. Insecurity about her abilities and the fear of not meeting expectations were constant companions. As Mel entered the building, the sound of her own footsteps echoed in the nearly silent reception area. The environment felt grand and imposing, a reflection of the challenge she felt before her. The receptionist, with a friendly smile, directed her to the orientation room. Every detail, from the curious looks of her colleagues to the smell of fresh coffee in the air, seemed amplified in her anxious mind. In the orientation room, Mel was greeted by her supervisor and a few team members. The introduction process was a mix of nervousness and formality. She tried to stay calm and present herself with confidence, but her hands trembled slightly as she spoke. The constant feeling of being evaluated made her feel even more insecure. Work began in full swing, and Mel quickly found herself immersed in a series of new tasks and responsibilities. Each task felt like a trial by fire. Even the simplest activities like preparing reports or answering calls turned into enormous challenges for Mel, who feared making mistakes and not meeting expectations. The initial interactions with the team also brought unexpected challenges. Although her colleagues were friendly and helpful, Mel felt out of place and insecure. Finding the balance between being a diligent learner and not appearing burdensome to others was difficult. Every piece of feedback, no matter how constructive, seemed like a reflection of her own insecurities. One of the toughest moments of the first day was when Mel made a mistake during an important presentation. The fear of making a blunder was soon overtaken by concern about how her colleagues and superiors would react. The mistake seemed like an insurmountable obstacle, and for a moment, Mel felt crushed. However, the unexpected support from a more experienced colleague, who offered advice and encouragement, helped her regain her composure. The end of the day arrived with a mix of relief and exhaustion. Mel left the office feeling that she had survived an intense test, but with her mind filled with worries about what the second day and the rest of the journey would be like. Despite the challenges and insecurities, she also felt a small glimmer of hope. Mel knew that this first day was only the beginning of a path of learning and growth, and despite the difficulties, she was determined to keep fighting for her place and to build a solid career. In the first few months, Mel faced significant challenges. Mistakes were inevitable, and the feeling of failure almost overwhelmed her. However, with determination and courage, she began to learn from her errors and gain confidence. Each small victory became a major milestone in her journey. The beginning was filled with tests that challenged Mel's resilience. Every new project seemed like an almost insurmountable obstacle, and the mistakes she made felt amplified by the pressure to perform well. Mel often found herself revisiting her tasks repeatedly, fearing that any small slip-up could result in a major disaster. A notable moment was when Mel was given the responsibility of leading an important meeting. She prepared meticulously, but when the time came, her mind was filled with nervousness. The presentation did not go as planned, and Mel felt the frustration of not being able to express her ideas as she had envisioned. The feedback she received was constructive, but the feeling of inadequacy lingered. Instead of letting these moments dishearten her, Mel decided to face the challenges head-on. She sought feedback from her colleagues and superiors with an open mind, understanding that each critique was an opportunity for improvement. Mel began to focus on honing her skills, attending training sessions, and seeking additional knowledge to strengthen her weaker areas. Gradually, Mel's determination began to bear fruit. Over time, she started to see small improvements in her performance. Projects that once seemed impossible to complete were being finished successfully, and meetings began to be conducted with more fluidity and confidence. Each achievement, no matter how small, became a symbol of her growing competence and resilience. A significant turning point in Mel's journey was when she took on a challenging project that initially made her apprehensive. However, by applying the lessons learned from past mistakes and utilizing her developed skills, she managed to deliver work that was well received by everyone. Completing this project brought a sense of pride and validated her efforts and dedication. Mel's overcoming of the initial challenges was not just about learning to handle the work itself, but also about building a stronger mindset. She learned to pick herself up after each fall, to view challenges as growth opportunities, and to celebrate each small victory as an important milestone in her journey. As the months passed, Mel began to feel more comfortable in her role. The confidence she had gained through hard work and perseverance began to reflect in her performance, and the sense of finally being on the right track started to solidify. Her journey of overcoming obstacles had transformed her from an insecure novice into a competent professional, capable of facing any challenge with a renewed perspective. Mel's journey was not a solitary one. The support of her colleagues and the guidance of mentors played a crucial role in her adaptation. These connections not only provided the necessary support to overcome difficulties, but also strengthened her confidence and motivation. From the beginning, Mel realized she could not face all challenges alone. The company she worked for was filled with experienced professionals, and the collaborative environment offered a support network that proved essential for her development. One of the first to extend a helping hand was Lucas, a more experienced team member. Lucas noticed Mel's anxiety and concern on her face. Instead of just observing, he took the initiative to offer help, volunteering to clarify doubts and share his own experience on overcoming initial challenges. His encouraging words and patience helped Mel feel more comfortable and less alone in her journey. In addition to the daily support from colleagues, Mel had the opportunity to work with a mentor, Anna, who became an essential figure in her path. Anna was known for her thoughtful approach and ability to guide new employees. She provided practical advice, helped Mel set realistic goals, and offered constructive feedback in an encouraging manner. Regular meetings with Anna were not only a source of learning, but also a moment of reaffirmation and emotional support. The impact of the support network became evident when Mel faced a particularly challenging project. She felt overwhelmed and struggled to find solutions. It was at this moment that teamwork stood out. Her colleagues came together to discuss strategies and offer valuable suggestions. The sense of collaboration and team spirit helped Mel overcome obstacles that seemed insurmountable when faced alone. Beyond technical aspects, the emotional support from colleagues also played a crucial role. The camaraderie and relaxed moments during breaks helped Mel relieve stress and integrate better into the team. Small gestures of kindness, such as sharing a coffee or offering a word of encouragement, contributed to creating a more welcoming and motivating work environment. As Mel became more integrated into the team, she began to realize the importance of also offering support to others. What began as a learning experience for her turned into an opportunity to contribute to the support network. Mel started to actively engage, offering help to new colleagues and sharing what she had learned. This constant exchange of support and encouragement not only facilitated Mel's adaptation, but also solidified her role as a fundamental part of the team. The support network was not just a line of defense against challenges. It was a constant source of growth and motivation, helping Mel transform her initial insecurities into solid confidence and a renewed willingness to face any challenges that came her way. Over time, Mel underwent a transformation. The insecure young woman gave way to a confident and competent professional. The lessons learned, the skills developed, and the overcoming of challenges shaped her trajectory, making her an example of resilience and determination. The fear that almost destroyed her first chance was replaced by the certainty that, with perseverance, any obstacle can be overcome. In the early months, Mel was marked by uncertainty and the constant feeling of being in a battle against her own insecurities. Every mistake seemed like a reflection of her personal failures, and the pressure to adapt was immense. However, as time passed, these difficulties began to turn into learning opportunities. Mel started to realize that each challenge faced was not a sign of failure, but an opportunity to grow. Experiences that once seemed insurmountable became stepping stones for developing her skills and building solid confidence. She learned to analyze her mistakes with a constructive perspective, seek creative solutions, and apply the feedback received effectively. Her transformation was not limited to the professional aspect. Mel developed a new mindset, more resilient and open to continuous learning. With each new project completed and each positive feedback received, she felt an increase in her confidence and certainty that she was on the right path. Skills that once seemed distant began to feel like second nature, and her ability to handle pressure and challenges grew exponentially. The change in Mel's attitude was also reflected in her relationships with the team. Her growing confidence and competence made her an inspiration to her colleagues, and she began to be seen as an emerging leader, someone who could be relied upon in times of difficulty. This recognition not only strengthened her role within the team, but also expanded her opportunities for professional growth. The fear that almost destroyed her first chance was gradually replaced by a deep understanding that obstacles are an integral part of the path to success. Mel learned that the true measure of success was not the absence of difficulties, but the ability to face and overcome these difficulties with determination and courage. Mel's journey became a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the importance of continuing to fight, even when the path seems filled with challenges. Today, Mel is not just a competent professional. She is a living example of resilience and how perseverance can transform fears and insecurities into driving forces for growth and success. Her journey reflects the truth that, with the right attitude and necessary support, any obstacle can be overcome, and any dream can be achieved.